Oops, internet just dropped off. Probably just pushed the wrong button. Andrea, you also German, aren't you?
Austrian.
Austrian. Okay, Austrian.
Yeah, I mean it's close, but it's not the same. So no, I was gonna say Germans, Austrians, and Swiss are close, but not the same.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, I guess a lot closer than the Afrikaners and the Dutch.
Yeah, like I mean, I suppose I think the Afrikaans and the Dutch probably don't think about it as they should be that close. I mean, I
Yeah.
suppose the Germans, Austrians, and Swiss are physically still close because they're obviously next door
Mm.
to each other from a country perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do speak German, but I speak very like high German, like you know what I mean. Like I think the German language has changed. I think in the
Yeah.
last 20 years a lot because obviously they've used a lot of English terminologies within the language. So they speak a little bit of some of them speak quite a bastardized version of German for me because as I say,
Yeah.
I'm very pure German because that's how I was brought up and I was
Yeah.
obviously brought up in SA. So
Yeah.
but the Austrians and the Swiss have a very specific dialect, which if they have to speak their full dialect, I'm completely lost. Like I
Wow.
have no idea what they're talking about. Like no clue.
Yeah,
Yeah, no clue.
the Dutch are the same. They've also got a dialect, and even if you, because I know Marloes speaks also same High Dutch, but that's the Dutch she was brought up with, and now she goes to Holland, she struggles to keep up, and that was so much has changed in the last 40 years, even.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Austrian dialect is very cool, I must agree. But it's as I say, it's frustrating almost because you can understand the language and you're really struggling because you're like wanting to follow and they're using very specific words for specific things. You know what I
Wow.
mean? So as I say, I'll use the proper German word for something and then they'll use like a dialect word, which is a completely bastardized, made up version of that word. And I'll be like, how did you get to that? Like, what is that? You know?
For sure.
But yeah.
Antoinette says my dad is Austrian. Oh my goodness! So what a connection here.
Oh wow! How amazing, Antoinette.
She wants to learn. Okay, so we're gonna have to start German Austrian classes.
Austrian
Where's
Buddhists.
your dad from in Austria?
They were Vienna. Yeah.
Vienna.
Vienna. Okay. From the capital. Okay.
Yeah.
My family's from Salzburg, which is where Mozart was born. So yeah, that's where everyone obviously knows the town from. But as I say, like that's where my family's from. So I have a very, very strong connection to that part of the world.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
Strangely enough, I also have some German blood in me, but you would never say it.
I'm sure. You know what? I think a lot of people probably do, and we don't realize it in terms of how the population's kind of spread out and people have kind of gotten around. I think, I mean, I think I've got weird, probably like Italian and, like Czechoslovakian, and you never know, maybe there is Jewish blood in at some point. You have no idea,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do our meditation on this beautiful, crisp morning. I suppose not too crisp for you, Pam. It's warming up in Germany. Not really. Okay. Still wearing long sleeves. Okay. Should be summer for you now, almost. Anyway, let's bring some sunshine into our day through our minds. 2 feet firmly on the ground, or if you're sitting in a meditation posture, and let's enjoy a deep breath in, slowly breathing it out the nostrils. Another deep breath in. Slowly breathing it out. Feeling a sense of presence for where we are right now. Letting go of everything else, breathing in. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Opening the mouth and gently sigh the breath. Taking a moment now to invite the presence of a divine being into your space. And it doesn't really matter in terms of Buddhism who that divine being is. It could even be an angel like Saint Michael, or one of the saints, or your guides, or a holy teacher. It could be the Buddha himself, or it could be a female deity like Tara or Vajrayogini. It could be any being that resonates with you as an enlightened being. Could even be your higher self, your future Buddha. We call this in Buddhism the causal refuge, your eventual Buddha. And they are coming here with you. They're sitting beautifully in front of you, and they're smiling at you, and you admire their qualities and all the work that they've done to get to where they are and what they represent in your life and how they have helped you, and you've thought of them and called on them many times. So we ask them to stay with us in our space, and we take refuge in them. And we admire all their beautiful angelic qualities. And as we do so, I will sing the refuge prayer 3 times. Sangye chodang soki chognam la, janchu badu dagni kyapsu chi, dagi jinso gipe sonam ki, drola penche sangye drupa sho, sangye chodang soki chognam la, janchu badu dagni kyapsu chi, dagi jinso gipe sonam ki, drola penche sangye drupa sho, sangye chodang soki chognam la, janchu badu dagni kyapsu chi, dagi jinso gipe sonam ki, drola penche sangye drupa sho. The second part of this meditation is, now that we've invited that holy being into our space, whoever they are for you, we make them an offering. We give them something that we love. Maybe it's a lovely plate of food, or flowers, or beautiful perfume, or your favorite song, or it's just an image. You might be sitting on Lion's Head and you offer the whole beauty that's in front of you to the enlightened beings. Imagining a world that is free of pain, of misery, of death, of illness, of war, where everyone is happy and healthy. And we create this mandala in our minds and offer it to our holy being. Sajipoi ki chun shin me to ramri rablinji ni degen padi sangye shindu mite uwagi joy kunamda shinla chobasho giram guru ratna mandala kam niryatayami. The third part of this prayer is to reflect on anything that's holding us back in our lives, obstacles, negative energy, and all of these obstacles and problems, whether they're health or mental or financial, emotional, whatever obstacles they may be. Perhaps it's a difficult person in your life, to understand that all of these things are coming from past karma. And that's good, because if it's coming from past karma, we have the ability to stop that from happening in our lives by purification. So we purify using the 4 powers. The first power is regret. Feeling that it was a dumb thing to do, to create this negativity in my life. at some stage in a previous life, through my non-virtue, through my anger, through my irritations, through my jealousies, and all these sorts of karmic obstacles come from somewhere. We feel regret, and we decide we will try not to do this again. And that is why we journal, to keep track so that we don't keep repeating the same problems again and again. The next is we take refuge in our holy angel that we've invited today, saying, I don't know if I can do this on my own. I need your guidance. Please be with me and help me with my load, my heavy karmic load. And the final step is a remedy. How can we fix our negative karmas? And we've been talking about journaling. This is how we're going to fix our negative karmas. That's the remedy, is by keeping our book. The next step then is to smile with your holy angel or your holy being that you invited, to be happy, to rejoice in all the good things that are going on in your life today. The sun is shining, maybe you're feeling good, you've got health, you're alive, you can eat, you've got food. All the things you can appreciate and be grateful for are all a result of your positive karmas. You are not living in poverty. And this is a result of your generosity and your care for others. So feel a sense of happiness for your good qualities as well that you've cultivated in many lives that serve you so well in this life. Something to be happy about, to be proud about. And as we rejoice, we replant all those beautiful karmas again. Every time we revisit the good things that we've done in our minds, we reinvest and replant those karmas for more happy and pleasure in our lives. The next step is to ask the holy angel to please stay in our lives. Please stay, don't go. Let me feel your presence throughout the day as I go through this life. And at night, when I put my head on the pillow, may I feel your presence with me. And when I wake in the morning, and the next step is to ask them to continue to teach. Please continue to teach me in many, many ways. It can be from a teacher, a formal teacher, from books, from movies, from documentaries, from websites, from a little child, from a doggy, from a cat, from many, 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 many sources. Everyone has a message, a divine message for us if we just are mindful and can listen and look out for it. And then our holy angel shrinks to that of the size of our thumb in front of us. They fly to the top of our crown. They face the same way we are, and they slowly descend into the crown, moving their way. My apologies, I dropped off there. All right, let's take in a deep inhalation, breathing in through the nose and breathing it out the mouth. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Oh, my internet is a bit unstable. Sorry about that. Story of our lives here in South Africa. When there's load shedding, the towers go down and it seems to be getting worse and worse. So we need to work on our karma, because it's not Eskom, it's us, okay? The reason why there is a shitty service provider and corruption is because we need to clean up our karma. I know that sounds weird, and it's not what everyone would subscribe to, but that is the reality. Where else is it coming from? Well, it's either God's punishing us for being bad, or it's just random. Good luck, bad luck. Okay? You know? So we can look at those other two worldviews and decide, well, I don't know. If I subscribe to the worldview of karma, then I have to take responsibility for what's happening in my reality. For example, Pam doesn't have load shedding, but has other things going on, right? So I mean, we all have different karmas and how they manifest, okay? So we've been talking about keeping a book practice, okay? And that book practice is based on the fourth noble truth of the Buddha's teachings. We've been through the four noble truths by now, and you should know them like the back of your hand, okay? Anybody want to just run through them for me? Four noble truths, four Arya truths, four realized truths. What are they? Number one, there is suffering. Okay? Easy. Number one, shit happens. Okay? Maybe I should reframe it. Number one, shit happens. Number two, there's a cause of the shit. Number three, there's a way to be free of the shit. And number four, to climb out of the sewage pipe, there's a path. Okay? Remember that. Shit happens. There's a way to be free of shit. Steve, how you doing, bro? Good to see you. My good old friend Steve has joined. Went to school together. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, all good, Mark. Thanks, and you?
Well, magic. Welcome, bro.
Good, thank you.
So we're talking about the Buddha's Four Noble Truths. Shit happens. There's a cause of the shit. There's a way to be free of the cuck. And there's a path to be free. Okay? The path is the eightfold path. Right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right wisdom or meditation. Okay, and a good practice for that is the book practice. Now I'm going to share with you I think we've been going through it quite extensively. So the first three of body, okay, protect life. Opposite of that is killing. All right, protect life is, we've covered this. How do we protect life, and in what way are we contributing to killing or harming the health of other beings, right? Or yourself. The second one is to honor property. Honor property, or the opposite of that is stealing. So in South Africa, this is a good one for us because we have so much corruption that we need to ramp up our morality. We need to make especially extra gains in being generous and honoring property and not stealing. Okay, what's the opposite of stealing? Giving, right? The opposite of stealing is giving. So ramp up your generosity, right? And dedicate the goodness to the healing of the energy crisis. That's how we're going to fix it. The third one is sexual purity, or the opposite of that is sexual misconduct. Sexual purity for a lay person doesn't mean that you can't have whoopee, but It means that you can't be cheating on your partner with other partners if there is no consent to that. As we've discussed, it's okay to have an open relationship if two parties are in agreement, as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else. Okay, this makes Buddhism quite a different philosophy from most religions, right? Then those of body. Speech is honesty. The opposite of that is lying. We've gone into this, extensively. What I like to call togetherness talk. The opposite of that is divisive speech. Honesty, togetherness talk, divisive speech. Then the next one is meaningful talk. The opposite of that is gossip or idle speech. Then the next one is gentle talk or harsh. Okay, those four of speech, we've covered them, right? Then the last three, which we haven't covered, the first one of mine then is what I like to call rejoicing. And I'm going to put in brackets, in other people's happiness. The opposite of that would be, what would the opposite of that be? What do you think? Like being happy for other people when they get nice stuff. What would the opposite be? Spiteful? Yeah, spiteful.
Being envious.
Envious, absolutely. Spiteful, envious, all of these things, or what I call jealous. You're jealous. You're not happy for them. Okay. So I'll just pop that in the chat. So let's talk about this. Would you say that you have some jealousy or some envy for other people's situations or conditions? So let's unpack this. How could this look? You're working for an organization or a company, and you're going for that promotion, but your colleague gets the job instead of you. Okay. Now, if you feel that you are angry or upset, that is envy right there. That's jealousy right there. For me, big part of my divorce is that my wife's family really looked after their son and gave the son all their money and all business opportunities, but didn't give anything to their daughter. So I felt really upset about that. And if I look deeply, maybe I was jealous, or that was making me angry because she wasn't getting any help from her parents. Then I was thinking that's not right. But if I look, maybe it is jealousy. Okay, maybe I was feeling envy. The Atlas of the Heart. That looks interesting. I'll check it out. Thanks, Antoinette. So whenever we're not happy, I'll give you an example. In my organization, I run a teacher training program. Okay, I want to train people how to become teachers of mindfulness. So in my organization, some people say that's a bad thing because now I'm creating the competition, and that these people will take my work and make it their own and start their own organization in competition with us. Okay, and my understanding of karma is opposite. If I lift up other people, what's that quote? The best exercise for the heart is reaching down and helping somebody up, or lifting somebody up. Okay, I love that quote. So the best exercise for your heart is by lifting others up. I believe that if I create fantastic teachers and I give them all of my work, we have this thing called IP, called intellectual property, which I think is nonsense. Okay, because if you haven't, whatever I've been taught by other people, and what I've read, and I've just put that together. Thanks, Antoinette. Yeah, I'd be interesting to hear that. Whatever I have has been given to me. None of it is my own. If I think of it as my own, that is an ego-based idea. It's not my work. Okay, I just put it together like a musician will put together music. All right. So, not my work. I want everyone to take it and share it. But there's a mindset that we can't do that because they will take it and they will become better than us. So part of this is to think, I would love people to be better than me. I would love to help them, to see everybody flourish, to see everybody prosper. And in that, I will get the karma to flourish and prosper. Because that's karma. If I am invested in your success and I want you to be happy, then I will be happy. If I don't want you to be happy and I'm trying to stop you from being your best, then I'm going to create the karma where I'm going to see obstacles in my life. Okay? So that's why it's really, really important. When we feel jealousy for somebody else's money or they have a good relationship, I mean, we never know if they're happy. But like I have a friend, like my mom, she's always, oh, Brené Brown. Yeah, okay. Brené Brown. I know Byron Katie as well, actually. So Brené Brown's work, looking forward to interesting. Yeah, I'd love to read that. So I can be happy if somebody else, like especially Brené Brown, like I'll watch her videos and I'll think, oh, she's so popular. Why am I not so globally popular? You know, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Brené Brown. and that as a teacher, that can happen. You know, teachers want to be famous. They want to be popular. They want lots of money, etc. You know, but I can listen to Brené Brown and catch myself and go, wow, she's amazing. I rejoice in her work. You know, that is awesome. You see? So that removes my jealousy. Okay? Rejoicing, being happy when other people get nice stuff. All right? Being happy when people get nice stuff. Okay? Being happy when people get nice stuff. Sorry, I just need to send a quick message. Right. So the next one, any comments or questions on that one? Rejoicing in other people's happiness or not being happy when other people get good stuff or nice stuff. Jealous, okay? You're all good with that. You're ready to be happy for other people. It's not easy. That's why we keep our book, okay? Yes, says Stephen, I'm ready to be happy for other people. And if you're not, you got to keep your book. Got to keep your book practice. The next one then is compassion. Compassion. I'm going to put in brackets loving kindness. What's the opposite of being compassionate? Of being, what is the opposite of being compassionate? Yeah, Pam?
Maybe it's not caring.
Yeah, not caring at all. Yeah. I'd like to take a little bit further, and it's ill will. It's wishing another person harm. So compassion, the definition of compassion, and not caring is part of that, obviously. Compassion is defined by the Dalai Lama as as the wish to remove another's suffering. Okay, how can I remove somebody else's suffering? That's the difference between pity. Pity is like, oh, poor them. Okay, poor them. But compassion is like, poor them, what can I do to fix that? How can I help them? Empathy is being able to put yourself in their shoes, okay, and understand their situation. So they all go together. But compassion is, how can I fix this? The definition of love, according to the Dalai Lama, and this is a beautiful one, is I want to see them happy. So you could say that rejoicing is love, right? The wish to see someone else happy. And that can be hard, even in a relationship that falls apart, to, when you leave somebody, to wish them happiness. I want you to be, you know that song by, what's it, Marshmallow, or what's that band? I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. It's a beautiful song. If you listen, do yourself a favor, listen to the words of that song, because it's all about like, I'm leaving because I want you to be happier. You know, it's really quite a beautiful spiritual song. So compassion is the wish for someone else to be happy, or the wish to not see them suffer. Okay, suffering. I don't want to see you suffer. And love is the wish to see them happy, which is rejoicing, the previous point. Okay? Ill will is anger, is the wish to see them not happy. What can I do to make them unhappy? What can I do to mess up their day? How can I hurt them? You know, how can I hurt them? How can I make them feel uncomfortable? That is probably the worst karma out of all of these. In Buddhism, they say that a moment of intense and extreme anger can wipe out eons of good karma. Can you believe that? A moment of extreme rage and anger can literally wipe out eons of good karma. But I'm told that if that happens, you can still apply the 4 powers. Anybody remember the 4 powers of purification? Regret, refusing to do it again, refuge, and remedy. You can then fix that and restore all your good karma. Okay? So there's always a lifeline there. There's always a lifeline. You've got the 4 powers. No matter how badly you mess up, you can still apply the 4 powers to it and purify that anger and restore your goodness. And anger in itself is the worst negative karma. Now, people say, yeah, but it's good to be angry. Express your anger, they tell me. I prefer to say, explain your anger. Express your anger sounds like it could turn violent, you know. Explain your anger. Someone asked the Dalai Lama, what should I do if someone is coming at me and they want to hurt me physically? They want to harm me. And the Dalai Lama said, you must restrain them as if they were your mother gone mad. Okay? And I have a personal story where after my dad died, my mom did go a little bit mad. And she tried to attack me one night. She was very drunk. And I pushed her buttons. And she attacked me in the kitchen. And I had to restrain her. But I restrained her with love. Because she's my mom, right? It's my mom's 70th birthday today, by the way. So, yeah, I'm going to spend it with her. But there was moments where I had to restrain her, because she comes from a violent and abusive past, and she, I guess, in a way, wasn't very soft with me either. So sometimes I had to restrain her. So the next one, any comments or questions there? You good? All right. Next one, the last one of the 10 is correct view. Or what we call ignorance. Oops. I'm just sending, there we go. Okay, correct view or ignorance. Correct view is wisdom. In Buddhism, my teacher explains it as if it was a diamond. So wisdom is very related to a diamond. So in Buddhism, the Buddha taught something called the Diamond Sutra. He called it the Diamond Sutra. My teacher says that when you perceive emptiness directly, you realize that wisdom is very similar to a diamond. It's not exactly a diamond, but a diamond is the closest thing to the perception of reality. For 3 reasons. A diamond is perfect in its chemical structure, in its carbon makeup. And even if you were to break a diamond, it would still remain its perfection in its parts. This means that emptiness is all around us in many different forms in its perfection. Then, a diamond is clear. If you had a wall of diamond, you would walk straight into it and you wouldn't see it, because glass has got a slight tinge to it that you can see it, but a diamond doesn't. You can imagine a wall of diamond. I mean, it's never, I don't think it's ever been possible, but if there was, you wouldn't see it. And that's emptiness. It's right in front of us, but we don't see it. Okay. And also that it is the diamond is the hardest thing in the universe. Nothing can break it. Nothing can destroy it. Unless it's another diamond. Okay. Which means that once you understand or see wisdom, no other idea can challenge that. Okay. Once you've seen emptiness, you know God's not doing it. It's not random. It's all karmic, and emptiness exists because of karma. And once you know that, that's pure wisdom. So how can we practice correct view? Ignorance is the understanding that things do not come from karma. Okay? Basically, ignorance means things are good luck, bad luck, or that God is in charge of everything, or I just don't care. So how, we use our book practice to then understand, to track karma. So what could that look like? Oh, this is happening to me. Why is this happening to me? It must be karmic. And you write in your book, I recognize that this is happening to me because of something I've done. Ignorance could be, let's use an example. I'm trying to think of one. Where you kind of felt like, oh, poor me, and you sort of sink into like a depression, thinking that the universe is against you, or that it's fate, or that it's not a result of your karma. I'll try and unpack that a little bit more as we go. So I wanted to share with you my practice, how I keep my book. Okay. I've got an app called Moments Diary. I'll pop the name in the chat. Moments Diary. Look for it. If you don't want to use an app, that's fine. You can use a book. I've always used a book. And then I just become a bit tedious carrying a book around with me everywhere, you know. Can you see my screen? So this is how I do my book practice. Basically, the top is times, you see? So every time I make an entry, I put a time in. Okay? Vajrayana, this is my own thing. That's my tantric vows. Okay? I've obviously deleted a lot because a lot of it's very personal. So I've just left a few just to, you know, give you an idea. Perfection, that's another vow that I have. Then you can see here, I'm going back to front. Okay, well, maybe I should start with another one. Sorry. I'll start from the beginning, from the first one, body. Right, okay. Okay, so there's the first one, protect life. Okay, positive, negative, to do. So protect life is, I went and fetched my son from school. Now, how is that protecting life? Well, I made sure that he got home safely. You know, I made sure that I take care of him by not letting him walk home or sending an Uber or something like that. I will go and fetch him. I will give up my time. I will ride across town and I'll fetch him from school because I want him to be safe. So I put in a positive. Negative, I didn't do any gym. I didn't do any exercise for the last 2 days. I put that in. Now, what I try and do is I try and make as many entries as I can throughout the day. I don't necessarily run through each one systematically in an order, but I run through them as they are happening. So let's say I've got that one going and I've got my 10 in front of me. I'll show you the others here. The next one, you know, here of speech, honesty, sexual purity, all of them. I will literally try not to make an entry within an hour. So if I make an entry at 9, I can only make another entry in my journal at 10 o'clock. Do I do that? No, because I forget, okay? I forget to keep my journal. I mean, I think it would be quite difficult to make an entry every hour. It would be amazing, and I try and push myself, but I can't because I've got stuff going on. So I try to make at least 5 or 6 entries a day, but I don't necessarily follow them in order. If something comes up, if I've just given a security guard some lunch, I will go, I just did a good deed, and I'm going to put that in my journal. I'm going to, that relates to, what does that relate to? That relates to, let's see, honor property, okay? That relates to honor property. I've just been generous. Let's see if we can get out of that. Let me just check here. I'm going to share my screen. I've just been generous, and I gave a security guard I bought him some lunch. Okay. So then I'll put that into honor property. Okay. Or if maybe I've gone through I was reckless on my motorbike and I drove through a red robot without fully stopping or didn't stop at a stop street, I would go, I've got to put that in my journal as soon as I stop. I'm not protecting life, and I want to keep track of that. Okay, so go back in the chat and look at all those points. Protect life, honor property, sexual purity, honesty, togetherness, meaning, gentle talk, rejoicing, compassion, and then correct view. Make a list of the 10 Make a little page in your journal that you got 10 that you're looking at every day. And each day write down those 10. You might not write in all of those 10. And you might, because the problem when I was doing the book practice, as Geshe Michael introduces it, is that you got to go through it systematically. And there's a lot of benefit in doing it that way. But I found it was just too hard. Because I would go, okay, protect life, going to entry that 2 hours later on a property, anything around that. Next one, sexual purity, anything around that. So like so let's say I get to sexual purity and it's midday because it's now first one in the morning, then 2 hours, then another 2 hours midday. I'm looking at sexual purity and I'm going, how have I honored this? Well, I haven't really done anything to honor this, and I haven't really done anything to dishonor this. And then I'm like racking my brain, and then I feel frustrated because I've got nothing to enter into that entry. But I just bought lunch for somebody, so I'd be like, well, I don't want to forget that. I want to pop that into on a property because I just did that right now. You see? So I've changed the practice from Geshe Michael's approach to make it easier for me. And I'm sorry for doing that. If you don't want to do that, then obviously you follow the traditional one where you go 6 for this day, and then you carry the 4 over to the next day and you start with the other 2 to make it 6, if you know what I mean. So if you want to do it the traditional approach, you would go 6 a day, protect life, honor property, sexual purity, honesty, and togetherness. That would be your first 6, and you would visit those every 2 hours. Very hard to do, guys, but you can. I have students that do this. Then the next day you would start at meaningful talk, gentle talk, rejoicing, and compassion and correct view. That's 4. And then the other 2 would be protect life and honor property because you go back to make up the 6. And then the next day you would go sexual purity, honesty, togetherness, meaningful talk, gentle talk, and rejoicing to make up those 6. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I just like to write all 10 down. You got all 10, and whatever comes up for you, boom, there you go. I might be in a conversation with someone at a coffee shop and you say, oh, well, this is happening to me because it's my karma. And then I go, wow, I just said it's because of my karma. I'll write that down under correct view. Or I could say, this is happening to me because it's their fault. And then I go, but now that's ignorance. That goes against your belief. It's the same with Eskom. If I say, oh, well, what's happening with the power situation is my karma, then I've got a positive entry for correct view. If I say these bloody arseholes at Eskom, they should all be shot, that's ignorance. Then that's thinking, oh, well, this is not coming from me. This is not my karma, you see? And we can really easily fall into that trap of blaming other people for our condition. But how are you going to stop blaming people for your condition? By doing the book. By catching yourself, by being mindful. This is a meditation practice. And it's the most powerful practice you can do because if you want to rewire your worldview, this is how you're going to do it. Okay? Good. I'll share this on the group with you, the way I do it. And I'll put a little bit something there just as a recap. Are there any questions or comments? Yeah, Andrea?
So I just have a comment. So I've done one of Mark Steinberg's courses in terms of consciousness coaching.
Yeah.
And what he talks about, and this is the kind of, I guess, a parallel to what I've drawn to what you've spoken about, is that he always talks about don't get stuck in the story. And like when my sister and I, because we both did the course, we often challenge each other to not get stuck in the story. And I think it's, I don't want to say similar to doing this because this is obviously a lot more methodical.
Yeah.
But it's trying to catch yourself so that you don't get stuck in the story because it's so often so easy to like when you're late for a meeting or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like the robot was out and this and that, you know what I mean? And then my sister's like, story.
Is she frozen?
Story. that entire, it just made me think about that.
So
Because that's how we try and hold each other accountable.
you froze a bit there. We lost you.
Sorry, that's how we try and hold each other accountable.
Okay, is to get out of the story. Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely. So the story could be ignorance. What is the root of that story? Is it a bullshit story that's not beneficial? Then it's ignorance. Then you can put that in ignorance. So it's a tracking device. The monks used black stones and white stones. Black stones were non-virtuous, non-beneficial thoughts, words, or deeds, and the white stones were beneficial words, thoughts, or deeds. Obviously, we go through our day doing good things and bad things, but when we bring awareness into it, that's where we purify karma and plant new, perfect, good karma. Often people say, but I'm such a generous person. I give and give and give, but I'm still poor. I say, yes, but have you rejoiced? Have you put that goodness down and reflected on it and wrote it down? Because that then plants a double whammy power karma. So you take your good deeds and you maximize them by being happy about them. Okay? By putting it by celebrating your wins, as James Clear would say in his book Atomic Habits, because that keeps the momentum for a habit to happen if you are celebrating your wins rather than putting yourself down. And yes, you will put yourself down in the negative comments, but please don't use that as a beating yourself up. That's just an intelligent regret, so that you keep track. You would never beat yourself up if you're doing way less and you cheated on one day. You still got to track it, right? You still got to say, I ate cake, I went over my calorie count, but you're not going to cry on your pillow that night about it. You know what I mean? Don't do that. That would be silly, okay? Regret is very different to guilt. So when you put your negative entries or your non-beneficial, I don't like to say negative actually, I'm just saying non-beneficial entries, just feel a sense of regret, and that karma is then purified. Do the 4 powers. And then every Sunday, I will go through the week's entries and I'll meditate on them. I'll rejoice in all the good ones and I will purify all the negative ones. You see? And then I do that every Sunday morning for the week that's just been. And then I delete that page, I delete that week, because you could literally write down the 10. You don't have to rewrite them every day. Write them for the week. So you might have 7 entries in Protect Life. You know what I mean? So you got 10 for the week. Otherwise, it's a waste doing it every day. Just write down 10 for the week and revisit those 10 as they happen. Does that make sense? Okay, time's up. I've got a friend that I'm meeting for coffee. Let's talk about, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you're still confused, let me know. Otherwise, we will go over it again next week. Okay. Awesome. All right. There's Antoinette climbing to the top of Lion's Head. That's so awesome. What a view. Thanks for sharing that with us. Amazing.
I'm going to the bottom now, actually.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
Nice seeing you all.
Lovely to see you too. Thanks for sharing your beautiful view with us. Let's do a final. Oh, look at that. Magnificent. See, offer that to the Buddhas right there. You know,
Yeah.
offer to yourself as your future Buddha. Yeah. We're going to do a closing meditation, connecting with that angel in your heart once again. Let's take in a deep breath. Slowly breathing it out the mouth. Connecting with that radiant being of light in your heart. Dedicating the goodness of attending today's class and for exploring these very sacred and ancient ideas that will get you to enlightenment. knowing that this is a powerful karma that you create by giving up your time to be here. And we share this karma with all beings so that they may be happy and free of suffering, sending out this light from our hearts so that it surrounds the whole planet. And I'm sure Antoinette can look at all those houses down below, and it's very easy for her to do this because she can see everything from up there. Imagine every home being filled with happiness and freedom and joy and well-being. May all beings have this. I dedicate my good karma so that I can quickly become an enlightened being, so that I can truly help them. Gewadi kewokun, sunam yeshe zozoshin, sunam yeshe lejonwe, tampa kunya topa shuk. Thank you, dear friends. It's been a good class, lots of technical stuff, but good luck with your journaling and your book practice. It's tough. It's gonna, your lazy mind is gonna kick back. Your habitual patterns are not gonna like it. Your demons are gonna be shaking in their boots. Yeah, get ready. Buckle up, sunshine. Have a great day, everyone. Have a good weekend. I'm going to run to see my friend. Take care. Thanks for joining this class, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to teach today. Take care.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.